Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Little Forest, Summer and Autumn, and Little Forest, Winter and Spring, two Japanese movies from 2014 and 2015, respectively, that star Ai Hashimoto. Now this is based on the popular manga series, and if you enjoy movies that revolve around food, you will be in heaven with these. Ichiko lived in a big city, but she goes back to her small hometown of Komori, located on a mountain in the Tohoku region. She's self-sufficient and gains energy living among nature and eating foods that she makes from seasonal ingredients. And that's basically her plot. So Little Forest, Summer and Autumn is about 2 hours long, with the first hour being dedicated to the summer season. The second hour is dedicated to the autumn season. And then the second film, Winter and Spring, is also about 2 hours long, with the first hour dedicated to the winter season and the second hour dedicated to spring. So it's a pretty cool structure here. The easiest way to summarize both of these films is the following. We basically see our protagonist harvest food and make lots of different cooking dishes. So Little Forest revolves almost entirely around food preparation and recipes. And there is a wide variety of delicious foods that are showcased. For example, bread, vegetables, trout, chestnuts, duck, stews, Christmas cake, mochi, radish stew, red bean dishes, bracken, cabbage cake, potato bread, etc. So obviously you do not want to watch this on an empty stomach. There's actually quite a bit of narration that's used by the protagonist to communicate the cooking ingredients and farming techniques. And there is pretty great detail here regarding farm life and how to farm things correctly or the best way. And that makes this even more interesting because a lot of films that do revolve around food don't necessarily explore both angles, the cooking and the harvesting, right? But this has both. There's another positive to these Little Forest movies. Remember the premise. Our protagonist basically, at the very beginning of every film, she rides her bike out into the middle of this forest and farmland area. So you get a lot of outdoor shots of the surrounding beautiful natural environments. You get a lot of nature here, a lot of trees, pastures, and it's like an excellent detox from urban life. So if you live in a city or a suburb, at the end of the day, you could sit down, watch these movies, and simply relax and transport yourself into the forest and pastures. And, Japan makes a decent number of movies like this, a handful I've covered on this channel, where they're just kind of relaxing and pleasant, and that's how I would describe this. Now, there's not a lot of a story here, not much of a story, but there is a minor focus given to our protagonist's bumpy relationship with her mother. Early on, it's actually quite amusing. Her mother gives her misinformation about certain foods, and the girl eventually learns for herself the true, origins of various foods. And they go back and forth on that. It's pretty interesting, but there's a little bit of quaint everyday humor mixed in at times, which makes it fun. So, in summary, I do strongly recommend these Little Forest movies. But of course, if you really need a significant story in your movies, you may not like these as much. But I think most fans of relaxing Japanese cinema should check these out. Both are streaming on Daily Motion and are easy to find there with subtitles. There's also a Korean adaptation that I reviewed a few years ago that's just called Little Forest, and that's also a good movie. So plenty of content here with this type of stuff. That one is available on Tubi. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.